Hi, you guys, and welcome to Yoga with Esther. Today I'm just going to be talking about how to become a yoga teacher. Um, it's going to be a 30-part series, and I hope you find this valuable because I've had a lot of people ask me how I became a yoga teacher, and the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm going to tell it all to you. So the first thing I'd like to start is the benefit I got out of yoga. So I started yoga at a place called Ashtanga Yoga, Puerto Rico. And I developed a really beautiful community there. I was living in Puerto Rico, obviously, at the time, and people were super friendly. And it was like midway through the classes, I would get this sense of I don't know, just happiness and looking forward to the future. I did that I would take 2 classes a day, and I did this for like a year. And when I came back to Houston, I took more classes, and I just couldn't find anything that I liked that was similar. So I was like, I am going to do yoga teacher training and do my own. And I literally thought that was the next logical step is once you've kind of mastered the forms and you've taken enough classes, then you become the yoga teacher. So I did my training with a gentleman named Lex Gillian at the Yoga Institute. Highly recommended. That's all he does is trainings. He's been doing them for a million years. He actually started teaching where I started teaching, which was awesome. He's old school. He's friends with like Ram Dass and but he taught us the business of yoga and not so much like the positions and how to give adjustments. You literally can learn that all just by reading, and that's what I did. I didn't just read yoga books and anatomy books. I read personal training books. I read physical therapy books. I decided that the cohort I wanted to work with was senior citizens because I felt like they were the most, besides cats, they were the most really neglected group of people out there that were suffering from the same thing I was suffering from, which was depression. And they would just medicate these people and send them off their way. So by trial and error, I developed a program. So how I started was like a week after, and I'm serious, like only 2 people that graduated with me are actually teaching right now. And that's very, very common. But you've got to keep that motivation going, and you've got to have the confidence. So I decided, because I was new, that I was just going to volunteer. So I started volunteering at the West University Senior Center, which I would also highly recommend. It's such a fantastic place. Because I knew, I'm volunteering and they're seniors. They're not going to be mean to me. Yeah. When I first started, they were a little mean. Because I didn't really know I was so nervous. And I had my notes out in front of me, and I was like, and people in the back were like, we can't hear you, and like, what are you doing? And, it was just kind of a mess. But, throughout talking to other teachers and teaching in different places, I learned and developed my own style. Now, I'm going to go into the good and bads of teaching. In my experience, and this is not every teacher's experience, but a lot of them, is you neglect your own practice. So I didn't get the same benefits because I was just teaching, I neglected my own practice. I also like judged other people's classes. I don't know. I was, because they weren't doing it my way, and my way is the best way. No, it's not true. You can learn a lot from other teachers, and I have. And what I did is when I took different classes, I would pick up things that really made me feel good, and I incorporated them into my own classes. Um, oh, another benefit is if you become a certified yoga instructor, you get 25% off sale items at Lululemon and 35% off regular items. Also at Athleta and Outdoor Voices. So that's a perk. But another problem that a lot of teachers have is to make a living out of being a teacher, you have to teach like 9 classes a day. And that takes a lot out of you. I can only teach about 3 classes a week until I get burnt out. That's a lot for me because I put a lot of myself into my classes. Um, Even my YouTube videos. Now, choosing the right place to get your certification is very important because I will tell you a little secret. A lot of yoga studios make their money by teacher trainings. So they become these teacher training mills, and a lot of these, it's kind of a sexy job. A lot of these teachers are like, yeah, we're ready, let's do it. And they don't talk about breath, they don't talk about injuries. Like the first thing I ask is, does anyone have any injuries that I need to know about? And I know how to work around those injuries because I've done a lot of studying and I work with senior citizens. The second thing I say is if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And I create an environment that allows you not to feel pressure. Everyone in my class, oh gosh, they're just beautiful people. They're beautiful people. Now, I've been to classes where these people just squeeze out these yoga teacher mills, and it's not the teacher's fault. It's the yoga studio's fault, and they don't know what they're doing, and they injure people, so that's something that you need to do your research on. What else? So, we have some pros, we have some cons. In the next video, I will tell you, actually, you know what? I'm going to tell you how I started to develop my own practice. I found a niche, which is kind of cool and kind of important, and that's chair yoga. There's not a, let me tell you another secret. There's not a certification. Don't pay for chair yoga. Read a book. I'll teach you personally how to do chair yoga. It's yoga, it's in a chair. When I chose to work with senior citizens, I learned a lot about them, and I stayed after class and developed very personal relationships with them and had coffee with them, and really, I love every single one of my students. I learned, which ailments they have. I learned that touch is very important. A lot of people are afraid to touch fragile senior citizens, and you don't get touched a lot. And so at the end of class, I always give massages, but I always ask before. And I do it in a way where they're not put on the spot. So I'll say, during, I don't know, everyone's eyes are closed. I'll say, if you do not want to be touched, bring your hands to your stomach and leave them there. And then I won't touch them. But it's not like, I'll explain the touching experience. I'll be like, I'm going to, massage your forehead and your shoulders. And, one of my ladies will be like, I just got Botox right here. And then I'm like, I'll do your feet. And she's like, okay, you can do my feet. But always asking. for permission first is very helpful. Okay, the next uh, the next video I'm going to do is about safety. It's about the kind of yoga you want to teach, and it's about how to start teaching classes and making money. So I hope you join me for the next one, 3-part series, Sunshine Yoga. Yeah, we're also going to be talking about your yoga voice, because this is not what I sound like on a daily basis. Let me see. This is usually what I sound like on a daily basis. No, I don't know. I'm usually just making noises and being like, ah. But you do have to develop a yoga voice. And there is one secret to make you an amazing teacher. So stay tuned. Love you guys.